Project Red. The overall build quality, the shell it's fine. It's fine. I do quite like the faceplate. I think that is beautiful, personally. The nozzle is a bit chonky, so some people might have comfort problems with that big, wide nozzle there. But yeah, the shell it's okay for me. I don't have any problems personally. The ear hooks, they're fine for me. I find these comfortable. No issues here. This does have a slider. And then the cable is, it's an okay cable. It does tangle sometimes. It's not like the best cable I've ever used, but it's not the worst cable I've ever used, so it's fine. It's fine. Also comes with a 10 ohm impedance adapter, we'll get to that, and a decent little case here. So, build quality, it's totally fine for its price. I don't have any complaints for its price. Sound, how do these things sound? So, we'll talk about without the impedance adapter first, and then we'll talk about with the 10 ohm impedance adapter, and then we're going to talk about with a 75 ohm impedance adapter. So, no adapter whatsoever, just the IEM. It sounds really neutral sounding. On occasion, with songs like Audio Slaves Out of Exile, it did come off a little bit harsh for me. That's because the mids, they're just tilted up. When the mids, they do that upwards tilt, that to me comes off a little bit harsh with some tracks. Not all tracks, some tracks. But these are a heck of a lot better than the original TRUTHEAR Zero. The original TRUTHEAR Zero, literally, I couldn't last 20 minutes with them. I found them so harsh with things like snare drums, like percussive hits. It was so harsh for me. Kill Jill, with the TRUTHEAR Zero, the original, those snare drum hits in Kill Jill were actually painful. Whereas this one, I can listen to it. It sounds okay for me. I don't have any issues. That being said, without the impedance adapter, the bass is still impactful. It's still good. It's still there, but it's not like as fun as when you throw the adapter on. The mids are excellent. Like, they are excellent. It's just I prefer flat or slightly downward tilt over an upward tilted mid, but I think most people are going to like this. I think this is a tuning that is very much like general audience tuning. Like, a lot of people are going to really dig this. The treble is it's quite good for me. The upper treble, I find it very smooth. It's nothing like to write home about. It's like, me personally, my favorite treble ever is the Symphonia Meteor, but that's a $600 IEM. When it comes to treble under $100, I quite like this. I really like this for under $100. I actually really like this for under $175. We'll put the marker there. Because then we start getting into things like Timeless, which I really enjoy, and the MT Pro and different IEMs like that. But for under $200, $175, $150, that kind of range, under that, this is quite good overall. It's a very neutral tuning. Now, throw the adapter on. The bass gets quite a bit better. It's more impactful, more enjoyable. The 10 ohm adapter, that alone is enough to kind of make the mids a little more, I don't know, it's like less harsh. The bass kind of balances things out a little bit more, comes off a little more full and rich and enjoyable. That being said, I'm a bit of a bass head myself, but yeah, with the adapter, the 10 ohm that's included, it to me sounds far more enjoyable, and it's really quite nice. With Kill Jill, those low bass hits, I can very much hear them. They're impactful. It's very enjoyable. This is everything I wanted the TRUTHEAR Zero to be originally. I get it now. I get why the 2DD, like, I get the hype, because, yeah, single DD, it doesn't have the separation needed, and it doesn't have, I don't know, it kind of smears. It's hard to explain, but like bass guitar and guitar, very hard to separate. Like, it just kind of smears. Whereas the 2DD configuration, the bass is very much a separate entity, and it's enjoyable, especially when you throw the adapter on. Also, the treble, I think, is much more enjoyable on this than most single DD sets. For the most part, single dynamic driver IEMs, I don't love the treble. There's a couple exceptions. I kind of dig the Alina SE's treble. But like, for the most part, I don't love dynamic driver treble. This is pretty good. This is pretty dang solid for under $100. Like I don't have a lot of complaints about the overall quality of sound for under $100. Truly, not a lot of complaints here. Now, just going to talk about the 75 ohm adapter. Oh my word, that is a blast. Just a freaking blast. When you get to things like Kill Jill, the bass is just, oh, this becomes a bass head IEM with the 75 ohm adapter. That is it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And it really tilts those mids to be a lot warmer. It's really cool. It completely changes the IEM. It's not even the same IEM, honestly. With hip hop, with like songs that have a lot of 808, with things that need that like thump and this with a 75 ohm adapter is awesome. It's a very good listen. So the Con, the QKZ HBB Con, that to me was like a better version of the TRUTHEAR Zero. Is a more listenable version. It had more bass stock and it kind of toned down the upper mids a little bit. This is even more refined in the upper mids and treble. But with the 75 ohm adapter, it's doing about the same amount of bass as the Con with the 75 ohm adapter, and it's a good listen. I really enjoy this as a bass head with the 75 ohm adapter. Things like female vocals with Lights, Paramore, without the adapters, really good. This does a really awesome job with female vocals. With the 10 ohm adapter that's included, female vocals still sound amazing. With the 75 ohm adapter, some might not like the presentation of the female vocals because of how the mids kind of shift with the higher impedance adapters. But for things like Audio Slave, for things like hip hop, rock, things like that, I like the higher impedance adapter. I think it sounds really stinking engaging and enjoyable, and it's a good time. It is a seriously good time with a higher impedance adapter. I have a video on tuning IEMs with impedance adapters because there's a bunch of like, they don't work on everything, and I'll link that video in the description down below or something so you can give that a look. But essentially, really fun listen with the higher ohm impedance adapter. So to kind of conclude my thoughts on Red here, essentially, for under $150, I like it. I think it's a good IEM for under $150. The bass is very enjoyable. Even without the adapter, it's still better than most single dynamic driver IEMs, in my opinion. Then you start throwing the adapters in, and it's a good freaking time. It sounds really good and better than most IEMs under $150, in my opinion. That being said, without the adapter, if you're not planning on using the adapters, this is definitely not for everyone. It's very neutral, very sterile sounding without the adapters. Me personally, I don't enjoy listening to it without an adapter. I need the adapters in order to enjoy this IEM. So it's not for everyone, but I think it's a good recommendation for most people starting out in this hobby. And here's another reason why. Because for $10, you can get this 3-pack of adapters. So you get a 25 ohm, a 50 ohm, and a 75 ohm adapter from Venture Electronics. So for $55, you get the Red, which comes with a 10 ohm. And then you get, for $10 more, this set of adapters. And you can incrementally step up the bass. Like, you can figure out where your bass preferences are by just kind of going from adapter to adapter to adapter and then being like, yeah, this is it. I think that is a really cool thing about this IEM. There are like for under $100, you got the TRUTHEAR Zero, you have the Con, and you have this that can do the adapter trick. Like, I don't know many IEMs that can do the adapter trick, especially under $100. Once you start getting into a lot of multi-driver IEMs, yeah, more start doing adapter tricks. But yeah, I digress. Is this worth buying? If you're on a tight budget, the QKZ HBB Con is still a viable option, in my opinion. I think it still sounds quite good for the price, and it's $15 less, something like that. So it's cheaper, and for that money, you can get the Con and the adapters for the same price as the Red. So if you're on a super tight budget, maybe still look at the Con, but if you're not on that ultra tight budget, I think this is a really good buy, and I do prefer this overall over the con because I listened to both of them with the 75 ohm adapter, and this with the 75 ohm adapter doesn't have a bass tuck, and it is really quite enjoyable. I can't express how enjoyable this is to listen to with that 75 ohm adapter. It just rumbles your eyeballs. So much bass. I like bass. And yeah, but, I mean, for technicality sake, it's fine for its price. Like, I don't have any problems with it, but like, it's not like it's game changing when it comes to technicalities. It's really cool when it comes to tuning and what you can do with it and all that stuff, but it's not like it's a game changer IEM. So if you already have the TRUTHEAR Zero, if you already have the Con, unless you want that tuning refinement, don't spend extra money. But if you don't have any 2DD IEMs and this is kind of in your budget, yeah, I think this is a cool buy. I think this is a very cool buy. The things to look out for are the wide nozzle, and if you're like me, no adapter, it's not my thing. Yeah, the adapters, definitely my thing. Do I recommend it? Yeah, I do recommend this. This is a fun listen, especially with those adapters. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time,